For those who don't know me, I'm a musician, and my name is North Takoda. And I have a busy life, very much so, because it takes up about 70 to 80 hours of my week to be able to do work and everything else I got going on that I make money from. So I actually have put together like a planning system for how I get through the work week. But first we have to break everything down. Number one, I work in IT. I work full-time in IT, 8 to 5 every day. That's my 40 hours. Sometimes a little bit more, but mainly 40 hours, overtime and all of that good stuff. My second job is a tutor or instructor, and that is 20 hours of my week, 15 to 20 hours. So we have about 40, and then we have 15 to 20 hours. That puts me at 55. And the other 20 hours is spent on music. And with music, I count things in the music category as making content to promote, searching up things for videos like YouTube and music. I kind of bundle together into one. So making these videos every day, that takes up like anywhere from 5 to 7 hours of my week, if not more. And then music takes up the other half of that, between making content, marketing, trying to figure out promotion strategies, making music, and everything else that goes into being an indie artist. Also trying to make free merch. So we have about a 75 to 80 hour work week, and it takes a little bit to plan that, but that's what I'm here for, to tell you how I do it. First of all, it's all through these books, and I talk about these books in every video, but I use books for everything, and I typically just jot down my goals. I jot down things that I want to do, I jot down ideas that I have, and I put them all together into my book, and that helps me keep track. And you don't have to do a book. I also do Notepad sometimes when I'm at work, because just easier a little bit, depending on if it's like a work related task versus like my personal tasks. But I put my work related tasks at work in a book or in my Notepad, and then I put my personal tasks in my books, and that helps me kind of separate those two, because they're kind of like two different worlds for me. So I put on my goals, I put on my tasks, and I put them in separate places. So I have goals, like big goals. Like right now, my goals are to hit 10 million streams on Spotify. My goals are to make one video every day for a year. My goal is to get promoted at work. My goal is to get a Security Plus certification. Like I have a bunch of goals that I have going on. So to have those all go on concurrently, I have to make sure I list them out. Make art, learn languages, do stuff like that. And then I set some time off for my goals, and I kind of talked about this a little bit about making time and multitasking, but I put what I call passive and active goals together, or like passive and active tasks. So I'll have like a passive task, which is basically like, learning a language for a little bit or studying or anything like that I can do while doing something else, and I'll have that paired with something active. Like I might study for a language while also at the gym. I might study for my certification while also working at work, because work related. So things like that. So I put those together, and then I kind of figure out where the best time and space is to do those things. Like a lot of times I'll do lives while making music, so that I'm able to kind of do two things at once and learn how to make live streams while also making music and pursuing that, or getting to know my audience, the people who listen to the music or anything like that. So my passive and active tasks go together. I write them down in my book. And then from there, I actually have my work stuff kind of planned out. I like to make work as efficient as possible. I'm just kind of like that, because the more efficient work is, the less I have to think about work outside of work, right? So if I put things off, or I'm lazy or whatever, then I'll be like, oh man, I have to do that tomorrow. But if I'm efficient through the day, there's nothing I have to worry about. If my plan is already put together on when I meet vendors, or when I have to go to travel or anything like that, then the only thing I have to think about is just showing up and doing what I would normally do. I automate things, I make things efficient, I make workflows, make notes, and I just make sure that I don't have to do any more than I would. So that planning helps prepare me to streamline that time where I don't have to think about work. So then everything after work, where I'm working on music or I'm working on YouTube or I have tutoring stuff I have to work on, like I can put focus into and time into in the limited time that I have. Now, granted, I am not single, so I do have like other stuff going on, especially like with having a partner, like my girlfriend, and also pets, and you know, thinking about possibly moving into a house and all that stuff. Like there's a lot going on, so I can't really plan a whole life to the T, but that's some of the ways that I get started on it. And then also because of my ADHD and just how forgetful my nature is and my short-term memory, like numbers and photographic things I'm good with, but when it comes to like remembering an appointment or something, it's like, or like a task I have to do. So I rely heavily on a planner that I actually keep in my bag at all times, and I rely on my phone to give me notes, like alarms. I do alarms through the day if I have to do something, or I'll set calendar reminders. Even my girlfriend will send me calendar reminders for like vet appointments and stuff so that I don't forget. And so we have like that little system going on. So that's another way that I remember things. And if I have to remember something drastically important, I would like throw a pillow at the door or something like late at night, and then I would remember why the pillow was there. It's a silly thing that I've had from high school, but it works sometimes if it's something that really like desperately needs to be remembered. But that's kind of how I plan my work week and my week in general, managing all of those things. But I try to do that because I need the space to kind of turn my brain off from one and move on to the other to actually fully be productive, because otherwise I wouldn't be as productive as I want to be if I'm constantly thinking about work or constantly thinking about like other stuff while trying to do something else. So I try and make things efficient. I try to have the 365-day idea book, where basically I wrote an idea in this book for 365 days of content. And basically I did that because I wanted to be able to streamline finding content that I would be interested in, that I would actually want to do. So all these ideas are ideas that I would want to do, and that would make it easier for me to make videos, because it needed to be a little easier for me with the time crunch and schedule that I have. And so I can focus on the fun of the videos instead of the planning. And I do the same thing with work, focus on making it efficient so that I can focus on showing up and just doing what I have to do every day. But that efficiency makes it easier for me to not have to think about it once I leave, and to make my day easier, honestly, and try and save some energy, as well as music. Like I plan for music, and sometimes I might have an idea that strikes me and I'm like, just like, oh, I have to make this song. But a lot of times, like I try out different ideas, I play around with it, and then I find one that really sticks, and then I go with that from there. So yeah, that's kind of how I manage my life. But I'm hopefully that you were able to get something from that. And my brain is kind of like a train wreck sometimes when I want to explain things, but hopefully you got that. And until then, I'll see you tomorrow.